this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront, Leonard Watch, a young boy with the eyes of God, finds himself abducted by a demonic Cyclops ninja driving around in an interdimensional meat truck. So just like last week's episode, they just sort of throw you right into the madness, and honestly, I still think the show's a lot of fun. This week we were formally introduced to a lot of the main members of Libra, and they're all pretty awesome. They all have their own gimmicks and special powers. There's that one guy who actually can manipulate ice. I'm not sure if that's related to blood in any sense, but that seems to be the thing that is connecting all of them. I do forget the names of some of the characters. I do apologize. There's that one butler-looking character who's really awesome. He literally looks like a mummy. And then, of course, we have Chain Sumeragi, who in this week's episode was basically a reconnaissance ninja badass. She was really awesome, but I was really hoping that she would have gotten a big action scene. It almost seems like they were building up for her to do something, and she didn't really do much aside from basically just jump from rooftop to rooftop, but she looked damn good doing it. Zap Renfro is the real star of this week's episode, especially at the beginning when he was constantly running into Leonard and stealing all of his pizza. I also gotta say, Zap Renfro is definitely a pimp. So the main story in this week's episode is that we get to learn that even though Leonard Watch can see some amazing things with his eyes, they can actually get him into a lot of trouble. And when him and Zap are going on this pizza delivery of sorts, he actually ends up seeing this truck which is covered with all of these weird alien masses and spikes, and they seem to actually be trafficking human bodies as a food source. It's really freaky. It's actually run by this operation of this weird freaky thing with multiple eyes and this one Cyclops ninja who frankly just looks awesome. I love the designs of the aliens in this series, and a lot of my commenters from my review of the very first episode noted that this series had a big Men in Black vibe. I agree. Definitely after seeing this episode, I felt that. So the demon Cyclops ninja goes after Leonard, abducts him, and that's when this big chase scene ensues where Libra is going to have to go after him, and luckily, it looks like Zap Renfro is going to save the day. He got hurt really bad, but he actually has this long thread of blood which has actually been following them the entire time, and that's where this big chase scene ensues where you get to see, like, I'm guessing it's just Libra's, like, Libra-mobile. I don't know if it has a name or anything, but it's really cool, and there's a great scene where they're on the highway and crashing through barriers and everything. The butler is driving. Like I said, the butler is really awesome, and basically they just end up tailing them and pretty much just destroying them. Really, the best animation comes from just all the crashing scenes and the driving around. It's pretty freaking intense. The end of the episode ends with a little bit of humor and a little bit of a tease. We get to see that Leonard actually sustained some pretty big injuries and he's in the hospital, so he's going to be there for a couple of days. Same thing for Zap Renfro. I especially loved when he almost had that weird epiphany moment where he felt at the beginning of the episode Zap was actually doing that, following him around constantly just to help him. But no, that's not the case. He's just an asshat. It's really funny to see asshat said in an anime setting. But at the very end of the episode, we see Leonard is just sort of randomly walking around in this cemetery, which is right next to the hospital, and there's this girl there by the name of White. She claims to be a ghost. I don't know what the deal with this is. Maybe it's related to his sister. Maybe that's what they're actually building up to. But I can't wait to see where this part of the series is going, ending the episode and giving us an amazing ending sequence. That coupled with the intro this week were fantastic. The intro for the series is great. The animation for it is good. I love the song, which was teased in the very first episode. The ending is just as good, if only just to see all of the different characters like actually dancing around. It's really goofy. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront Kekkai Sensen? This was another fantastic episode of this series, which is continuing to impress with its amazing production value and its amazing style. I love the music in this series. I cannot stress that enough, especially during that big sequence where Chain Sumeragi was actually following the big trail that was left by Zap Renfro. I loved the jazz soundtrack. It was really great. It really pumped me up. Another thing that I really liked about this episode is just how ridiculous it is. They can really do whatever they want with it. And that's probably just because they're not really explaining anything outright. This whole world that takes place in this city with all these aliens, we don't know where they come from. We don't know actually how they get there or how they appear, whether it be from a portal, whether it be from alternate dimensions, whether there's like an infinite number of these dimensions is unknown. But it's also really creepy to know that there are ones out there that you can't actually see with the naked eye. You have to have like a special eye ability like Leonard has to actually see them in this week's episode, which is crazy. And it totally reminds me of this 1980s horror movie called They Live, which actually has Rowdy Roddy Piper in it. And it's this movie about these aliens that are taking over humanity, and you can't see them unless you have these special sunglasses. And that's what's going on with Leonard. He's able to see all of these crazy things that are going on in an already pretty freaking nutty world. One of the biggest complaints for the first episode is that they don't really explain anything that's going on in the series, and they don't even really explain that much in the second episode either. Really, it's just another formal introduction to Libra, its individual members, and just seeing what they actually do within this city, and it really sets it up really nice in the intro when they sort of like explain what the entire series is all about. I think that's pretty awesome. My favorite thing about this week's episode, though, was simply just the energy behind it. I loved that final chase scene at the end. When the music kicked in, I was just completely sucked into the show at that moment. And I really think if they can continue to do that in every episode and keep our attention and slowly reveal the story, especially what's really up with Leonard Watch, his sister, and this brand new ghost girl, which it's easy to believe that she's a ghost. Look at all the other crazy crap that's going on in this episode. So I love this one. Just like the first one, I think it's a series a lot of people definitely need to check out. It's got a lot of great style for it. It's really unique. All the powers are really cool. The animation is really good. The music is absolutely amazing. This is poised to be one of the biggest hits of 2015, and you guys should definitely check it out if you're a fan of action anime. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5. Really, really good episode. Check it out, guys. Thank you guys for watching my review. Before you guys leave, make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront. Now that we've seen a few more members of the team, do you have a favorite member? Do you have a favorite scene from this week's episode? And what do you hope to see from the rest of this brand new anime series? Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.